Good Wednesday morning. Happy hump day. 62 degrees outside right now with clouds rolling in, and they'll be with us through the morning. A couple of drips up in the tip of the thumb. Other than that, we'll lose the clouds or at least thin them out mid-morning. Turning warm and a little muggy. 84 this afternoon with a late afternoon or evening shower again up north. Better chance for our storms tomorrow. Kim?
All right, well, we do have one accident we want to warn you about over on the west side of Detroit, east and westbound 7-mile closed right now between Southfield Freeway and Evergreen because of this critical accident. We'll continue to keep you updated on this one, but in the meantime, take 8 Mile instead this morning.
All right, Kim, thank you. 4 fishermen are okay after their boat capsized in frigid water in Alaska.
Yeah, take a closer look at this video. It shows the captain of a fishing vessel in the frigid waters Monday, just off the southern coast of Alaska. He jumped in to rescue 2 of his crewmen after their fishing boat flipped over in the water. The U.S. Coast Guard says several Good Samaritans in a nearby boat picked up 1 other fisherman. It's not clear what caused that boat to capsize. We're glad they're safe.
Absolutely. Still ahead, President Trump's former campaign chairman no longer faces a congressional subpoena.
But it's after he handed over notes from a 2016 meeting with a Russian lawyer. We're going to have the story from Washington coming up. But first, let's check in with Nick following breaking news this morning.
Everyone, good morning to you. 2 firefighters were injured after battling a house fire here on Detroit's west side. They are gone. Homeowners are going through it right now. We'll give you a live update on exactly what happened and how they are doing. Next on Local 4 News Today.
This week, live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News Today at 5:30 starts now.
Wow, take a look at the beautiful city of Detroit. It is going to be a wonderful Wednesday, as Brandon is calling it today. Gearing up after last night.
Yes, in fact, we were just showing Woodward Avenue, which was the scene of the big world premiere of the Detroit movie at the Fox Theater. We saw Comerica Park there.
Yep.
Tigers have been in action, just not getting enough runs to get us some W's, Brandon.
No, exactly. I mean, a lot of runs is what we need. A wonderful, a warmer, and in some places wet Wednesday, but not a whole lot of rain in the forecast. We have seen the clouds roll in. Our beautiful downtown Detroit we share with a beautiful view of Mount Clemens. Good morning, Macomb County. 62 degrees out there right now. Pressure well over 30 inches on the barometer, so fairly stable air still in place, even though we are getting a couple of showers up in our north zone. Don't expect much. Clouds through 8 or 9 o'clock, thinning out through the midday. Near 80 degrees at lunchtime, 84 the afternoon high, a little bit more humidity thrown in the mix as well. For the ball game tonight at Comerica Park, starting tailgating in the 80s, dropping into the middle 70s, but again, a dry night ahead. We do have a chance for more showers through the late afternoon and early evening up in our north zone, but we'll tap into more of these showers here in Metro Detroit on Thursday, tomorrow, and we'll talk more about the timing of that and the strength of some of those showers and storms coming up. Kim?
All right, well, this morning freeways are still looking good, but I do want to show you right now where we do have a critical accident over on east and westbound 7 Mile. That is currently closed right now between Southfield Freeway and Evergreen. I want to show you some earlier video. We were at this scene. As you can see, the police officers are on the scene because this is a serious accident. Take a look at that vehicle there. Pretty bad. As I said, it's a critical accident, so we'll continue to keep you updated on this one, but in the meantime, if you do travel through the west side of Detroit this morning, you're going to want to use 8 Mile instead. Back to you.
All right, Kim, thank you. It is 5:33 now, and we continue to follow breaking news from Detroit's west side. What started as a call of a house fire with someone trapped inside has now resulted in firefighters. 2 of them burned while trying to put that fire out.
Yeah, Local 4's Nick Monticelli is there at the scene. And Nick, we understand, as you've been telling us, the chief is pretty upset about what all unfolded here.
Yeah, the battalion chief who was on scene was visibly upset, pretty angry, because 2 of his firefighters were injured. They've got burns on their arms, their chin, their neck, because they were inside of this home trying to find somebody. It turns out nobody was in there. Now, the fire engines have took off. They just left about 5 or 10 minutes ago. It's pretty dark, so it's kind of hard to see what's going on. But you do see now that an arson investigator just arrived here on scene, is now going to ask those people to get back out of the home, because there are some homeowners, or at least one of them, trying to get some items out of this house right now. The fire started at about 4 o'clock this morning. The fire chief says that when they arrived here, there wasn't a whole lot of visible flames. There was smoke. They knew there was a fire, but again, they were told there was somebody trapped inside of that home. So 3 of his firefighters went in. And then about 10 seconds after being inside of that home, the house flashed over, meaning flames just erupted. And firefighters had to, and I'm not exaggerating here, jump out of windows. One jumped out of a window out of the front of the home. 2 firefighters jumped out of windows out of the side of the home. 2 of them do have burns, again, to their arms, chin, their neck. They were taken to Detroit Receiving. The fire chief says they are going to be okay. He was actually going to the hospital to check on them right now. As far as what caused this fire, they don't have any idea just yet. The chief is calling it suspicious based on the circumstances that were here. He also said this home has an illegal electrical hookup, so a lot of things for them to look into right now. But again, as you can see, there are homeowners, those who are related to the people who stay here. They're trying to get some items out of the home right now. But again, this arson investigator just arrived here in this small pickup truck. He is talking to them right now. We'll have to see what he says about what happened here and then what goes on from here as far as the misinformation, I guess you could say, on someone being trapped inside. We are live here on Detroit's West Side. Nick Monticelli, Local 4 News today.
Yeah, interested to hear from him. Also interested to find out if anyone will face charges in this fire.
Well, thankfully, those firefighters were able to get out of there, and
Right.
we hope they make a full recovery. Nick, thank you.
It is 5:35 now, and developing now. The search continues for this 17-year-old kidnapped from a home by 3 men. His name is Jalen Wilson, and he was abducted just after noon on Tuesday from a home on Westwood Street, just north of West Warren on the city's west side. An eyewitness says Jalen was inside of a house when a silver car pulled up, and 3 men jumped out of that car and rushed inside the home. They then carried him to the car and just drove right off. Police say the men jumped into a silver older model Impala or Malibu.
A judge says that it's clear this mom hit rock bottom when she used her child's urine to try and pass a drug test. 52-year-old Kimberly Peterson of Howell was already on probation for drug possession. Prosecutors say that during a regular drug screening, she tried passing her child's urine as her own. Peterson was sentenced to 45 days in jail for the probation violation.
Well, in Livonia now, a search is underway for a tip jar thief. Take a look at your screen. The man you see here is suspected of walking off with employee earnings at the Jersey Mike's sub shop on Middle Belt Road near I-96 on Monday. Take a close look at him as he shoved the money there in his pocket and just walked right on off. If you recognize him, please contact Livonia Police.
And all eyes will be on Detroit Public Schools District today as decisions await on their newest contract proposal. The district and the teachers union have reportedly reached a deal that calls for a 7% increase over 2 years. Union members are expected to soon vote on the agreement. The president of the teachers union says if approved, the new contract would give teachers a 3% increase in January and a 4% increase in the second year.
In Washington now, President Trump's former campaign chairman was supposed to testify this morning about his meeting with a Russian lawyer.
Yes, but last night, hours before the hearing, lawmakers suddenly canceled the subpoena that would have forced him to talk. Why they do it? Let's get to Tracy Potts. She joins us now on Capitol Hill with more.
Good morning, Evrod and Rhonda. It looks like Paul Manafort's cooperating with investigators here, turning over documents, making arrangements to talk to them behind closed doors, off the record. So for now, they're not forcing him to testify in public. When the Senate Judiciary Committee meets this morning, 2 key witnesses won't be there. Donald Trump Jr. and former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort. Lawmakers want to know more about their meeting last summer with this Russian attorney. But last night, lawmakers suddenly dropped Manafort's subpoena, working behind the scenes to interview both later. Committee leaders say, we intend to get the answers that we need one way or the other, adding, this agreement does not prejudice the committee's right to compel his testimony in the future. Manafort turned over notes from the Russia meeting. President Trump's son-in-law and advisor, Jared Kushner, was at that meeting. He's been grilled about it for 2 days behind closed doors.
I did not collude with Russia, nor do I know of anyone else in the campaign who did so.
The bill is passed.
The House approved new sanctions on Russia that President Trump cannot lift without congressional approval. That's not final yet. Meantime, the president is criticizing Attorney General Jeff Sessions for taking himself off the case.
I am disappointed in the Attorney General. He should not have recused himself.
Might the president fire Sessions?
We will see what happens. Time will tell.
Sessions is still working today, unclear if his job is on the line.
In fact, Sessions is going after sanctuary cities now, just announced that they could lose millions in federal funds if they don't cooperate with immigration enforcement. From Washington, Tracy Potts, Local 4.
All righty, Tracy, thank you. It is 5:39 now and still ahead, a Local 4 News exclusive.
You stay out here.
Former NFL player Brian Price talks about the repeated hits on the field while he played that likely caused brain injuries, leading to this shocking moment. We'll have part 2 of this story ahead. And also, former Detroit Lion Lomas Brown and a medical expert are going to be joining us to weigh in on this new concussion study that reveals some shocking results. That's all new in our 6 o'clock hour. Stay with us for that. We'll be right back.
Save on
Welcome back, everybody. It is 5:43. We got the whole gang together. I like when we're all, you know,
together as a family.
We get to talk during commercials.
The pink memo.
Well,
it's in the family, you know.
It happens. I've been left out before.
We're close enough, though.
Yes. Meanwhile,
the 3 of us, though, are pretty.
Yeah,
pretty
the synergy is pretty good.
And everybody is going to think that we planned it this way. We really don't.
Yeah, you guys have the navy suits on too.
Brandon does like to copy my style.
This is true.
Wow.
But here's some help for you if you're trying to
bring this up. Bam!
What? Where did you get this from?
Pocket square.
Brandon.
I like it. Now it's all dusty. Hey, look at Webster this morning, out and about on our Windsor camera downtown. You see the clouds back there, and Webster's all right with that. We hope you are as well. 62 degrees right now. East-southeast winds are 3. The winds become more south later, but not. Oh, okay. Tuck that in. Oh, there it is. Look at that. It kind of matches. Accident. 79 at noon today. We're going to thin out the clouds. 84 degrees, your afternoon high. You're going to feel the humidity up a little bit today. Ball game tonight should be dry. Our shower chances are mainly in the north zone. We're seeing a couple of drips up there right now, and we're going to see a couple of showers by about 4, 5, 6 p.m. again up north. But this stuff is drying out as it comes over. We're going to thin out these clouds. Cold front sinks down here through the afternoon, and it's going to settle right across the Saginaw Valley and bring those shower isolated thunderstorm chances to the tip of the thumb and our north zone. Watch here on the computer model again through the afternoon, mostly good, but we have the front settle. There are the showers between 5 and 7 p.m. we'll say, and tomorrow that front comes through here and that increases our shower and storm chances tomorrow. We're even under a marginal risk. I think it's going to be late morning through the afternoon hours that we see these showers and storms. Marginal risk is a very low risk, but our south zone close to the Ohio border and south into Ohio, a much better chance for what could be a strong storm or 2 tomorrow afternoon. Friday morning, maybe a little bit wet, but drying out, and a perfect weekend ahead. Kim and 4 Live traffic time.
Good morning. Well, freeways still looking great this morning, but we do have some problems over on our surface streets. We'll start with a water main break. Northbound Outer Drive closed right now between Plymouth Road to I-96 because of this water main break. So in the meantime, if you are traveling this way, you're going to want to use Telegraph or Burt Road instead to get around this one. And then we do have that critical accident that has 7-mile close in both directions. I want to show you some video of the scene. This was taken earlier. You can see the police officers are on the scene here. Again, east and westbound. 7-mile close just west of Southfield Freeway to Evergreen. So in the meantime, while traveling through this area, use 8 Mile. You will continue to keep you updated on this critical accident right here on Local 4. Back to you.
All right, Kim, thank you. It is 5:46 now, and we want to update you on a story that we first told you about yesterday, a Local 4 exclusive about Brian Price. And for him and his wife, Candace Price, they are dealing with a daily battle of what they call signs of a disease that they hope for progress that will come sooner than later.
Yes, our Mara McDonald joins us now with part 2 of her conversation with the former NFL linebacker and his wife.
You get a look at big Brian Price holding the point.
Watch him run down the 5'5", 176-pound Brown.
You stay out here. You're going to see him just bust into the backfield.
The man on this video is agitated, disoriented, and scaring people at a Washtenaw County auto parts store. They have no idea this man is actually this man. Brian Price, elite NFL defensive tackle for teams like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Chicago Bears, husband to track star Candace Davis Price, and father to daughter Gianna with a baby boy on the way. Price's wife Candace doesn't want to see this video of her husband plowing through the glass doors, but she thinks if he had been anywhere other than Washtenaw County, Brian would have been shot dead.
This isn't like a torn ACL or a broken arm and we're going to physical therapy. We're dealing with not even breast cancer and survivors. We're dealing with something that they don't even know enough about to educate, let alone emotionally and mentally what it does to a family.
Brian likely has what's known as CTE, chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Will Smith recently starred in the movie Concussion about the doctor who discovered the progressive degenerative brain disease in NFL players. CTE can only be confirmed after death when the brain can be examined. 33 NFL players have been definitively diagnosed after death, including Frank Gifford and Junior Seau. The Red Wings' legendary enforcer Bob Probert was discovered to have CTE in his brain tissue after he died. The cause is repeated blows to the head. It manifests in multiple ways: dementia, aggression, difficulty thinking, even suicidal thoughts. There is no cure.
I have been trying to reach out to them even prior to this incident to get more consistent therapy, to see what the options are, and even for myself. I can't be the only woman that's suffering with this.
The them Candace is referring to is the NFL. Brian has an assigned case manager who takes her calls, but as far as medical help, Candace is frustrated. For his part, Brian doesn't remember what went on at that auto parts store, just the taste of blood in his mouth.
Mentally, like some days I struggle a lot. But like as a man and as a friend and a father, you don't want people to see it. But at the same time, like I know I'm not the only one going through this.
His short-term memory has become increasingly poor. Ask him whether he's in pain, he shrugs it off. Ask him if he's been concussed and has had repeated headaches.
In high school, I used to get headaches a lot. Like, my mom used to hate me. She was like, I hate when they slap you on your head after you make a good play.
There are also the personality changes.
He has his core characteristics. So the gentleman-like qualities, the respect for women, but it's definitely altered of the personality.
Brian is only 28 years old. The NFL paid to send him to therapy at a cost of $40,000. They will no longer pay for that, and treatment for this is something that insurance just doesn't cover.
I'll be very honest and transparent. I really hope that there's a solution before. It is terrifying to think that young men are killing themselves, killing their families. That is a big fear of mine. Not that Brian would ever hurt anyone else, not that he would hurt myself or my family, but that the pain that he goes through, does he hurt himself?
Oh my gosh.
This is serious.
Heartbreaking what they're going through. And like Candace was saying, there has to be so many other couples and families that are dealing with this as well. I mean, when we sit and watch football and see these players and cheer, the long-term impacts is just becoming more and more apparent, and it's scary.
And just to think that he doesn't remember that moment, just the taste of blood in his mouth, as Mara mentioned. There is some good news in Brian and Cindy's life story. The couple is expecting a baby boy. If you couldn't tell there in the video, they are expecting. And when asked if the child will be allowed to play football, though, when he's old enough, the couple says, definitely no way.
Also ahead at 6, we're going to continue this conversation. We have a couple of must-see interviews. First, we're going to talk to a doctor. A doctor talks about the warning signs and the symptoms of concussions, and also former Detroit Lion, Lomas Brown. He is in the middle of this concussion controversy as well with this class action lawsuit from many players, hundreds of them in fact. He's going to be joining us live at 6:30 as well, and this all is just after the study was released on all the brain studies from former football players showing nearly 100% of them did suffer CTE. So it is definitely something that needs to be addressed and keep these players safe so that that doesn't happen. And I don't really know how you do that.
Yeah, it is 5:52, everybody. Moving on, a new feature rolled out by Walmart that tracks what you order to help you the next time you shop.
Find out what Americans, I should say, reorder the most at this retail giant. We took the quiz this morning.
We did all right.
I think I got about 70%.
We're back in a minute.
Attention. Good Wednesday morning, everybody, on your hump day. Getting over the hump. A little warmer today, 61 right now. It's comfortable. Clouds overhead with a couple of drips up in our north zone. But through the day, we thin the clouds out. 79 at noon, 84 the afternoon high. And again, we do have a shower chance up in the thumb region in our north zone late, probably about 5-6 p.m., Kim.
All right, well, northbound Outer Drive is closed right now between Plymouth Road and I-96 due to a water main break, and east and westbound 7 Mile closed between Southfield Freeway and Evergreen because of a critical accident. Use 8 Mile instead.
All right, Kim, thank you. In good health, using one of those active workstations where you're biking or walking on a treadmill while working, it might not actually improve your performance. Researchers tested 58 people as they used desks with attached treadmills, bikes, and ellipticals. Some workers did score lower on planning tasks, but they were able to stay focused and multitask while moving. During each 50-minute session of low-intensity walking, the workers got nearly half of the 10,000 daily steps recommended for good health.
Walmart has launched a feature called Easy Reorder, and it lets you reorder items that you've previously purchased. Since the launch, Walmart has noticed some trends among the purchases, including the most popular reordered items. It found the most reordered cookie is the Oreo chocolate sandwich cookies. The most reordered cereal, well, you guessed it, Honey Nut Cheerios. And the most reordered condiment is French's yellow mustard, classic yellow mustard. And believe it or not, the most reordered beverage is water. I would have thought Coke.
Well, that's good that it's water. Maybe Americans are drinking a little more of it and less pop. All that sugar, it's not good.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, we have a great story for you. One Detroit native and Cass Tech graduate is enjoying the off season from playing in the NFL here in his hometown.
And before he heads back to training camp, he's taking the opportunity to give back. Los Angeles Chargers player Joe Barksdale, along with his family, his daughter Kennedy and his wife Brianna there, have spent part of the week passing out flyers about a book bag giveaway that they are hosting. He is giving away 500 bags, 500 book bags like the one you just saw there, paid for out of his own pocket. And if you'd like to get one of the free bags, here's the info. The giveaway will happen today. It's today from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Northwest Activity Center in Detroit on Myers Road. The 500 bags will be given away on a first-come, first-served basis, so you definitely want to head over there as soon as possible and make sure you bring your child and get in line so you can get one of those free book bags. And they're nice, too. They're by Spray Ground. So valued up to $100.
Wow.
I know. They're very expensive book bags. It is 5:58, everybody. Coming up all new at 6 o'clock, local stories from Detroit, Livonia, and Howell.
Plus, we know it's bad, but why does it feel so good? Whether it's in the sun or from a tanning booth, a surprising reason why some of us just love to tan no matter what.
Well, some of you, not necessarily us. Details on that coming up, and we continue to follow breaking news about 2 firefighters who were hurt trying to save someone, or what they thought was someone trapped in a house fire. We're going to have a live report for our Nick Monticelli when we come back in just 1 minute. Keep it here.
The Tigers. Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News Today at 6 starts now.
Breaking news, an attempted rescue ends with 2 Detroit firefighters jumping out of windows to save their own lives. Why this shouldn't have happened in the first place.
Plus, consequences of concussions. This shocking video and alarming study shining the light on the health risk of playing football.
Plus, the calm before the storms. Just take a look at this sky cam we have for you this morning of the eastern sky as we prepare for the sun to rise. Apparently, Brandon is tracking the risk for some severe weather, but he's also calling this a wonderful Wednesday, so maybe we shouldn't even think about that.
And a wonderful sunrise. During the commercial break, Brandon says, oh man, you guys should take a look at the sunrise. And I didn't think we were going to get a chance to, and he was right. It certainly delivered.
It sure is. Let's get over to Brandon and Kim with a look at our forecast and the roads this morning.
Well, we're dry, but somehow you've had a number of problems.
Couple of problems, but though they are on the surface streets, so we'll get to that in a second. But look at that.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Were you pointing to me? Or?
Oh, yeah.
That's, yes, of course. When we get these high clouds, a lot of times it is a gorgeous, gorgeous sight. We love to just see the old sun coming up by itself because, you know, the only place where you can safely stare at the sun is right here on Local 4 News Today. But the high clouds are a beauty this morning. 61 degrees with calm winds. The pressure is high, so the showers that are trying to come in are getting squeezed out. We're not worried about it. The severe threat is tomorrow, and it's a very weak one. Today, no such chance. 79 degrees at noon. We're going to thin out these clouds and hit 84 degrees. A little more muggy today as well, so you'll feel that. It's not as bad as what we had last week, so an improvement. Just a classic summer day. I don't know if Rhonda has golf league tonight, but it's a good day for golf. Beach, pool, boating, whatever you have going on. We're going to shake loose even these showers up in our north zone right now and bring a chance back by about 5 or 6 p.m. only across the Saginaw Valley and the tip of the thumb. The rest of us track that cold front and shower and storm chances tomorrow. I'll do that coming up, but right now here's Kim.
All right, well, as I said, we are looking good on our freeways, accident-free to start off the day, but we do have a few problems on our surface streets. We'll start with this one. Northbound Outer Drive closed right now between Plymouth Road and I-96 due to a water main break. You're going to want to use Telegraph or Burt Road instead to get around that one. And then we have a critical accident that has east and westbound 7 Mile closed. We want to show you some video of this scene. We were there just earlier this morning, and as I said, east and westbound 7 Mile closed just west of Southfield Freeway to Evergreen. So in the meantime, while traveling through this area, use 8 Mile instead. We'll continue to keep you updated on this serious crash. Over to you.
All righty, Kim, thank you. It is 6:03 now, and we want to get back to the breaking news that you first saw right here on Local 4 and on our Click on Detroit mobile app of a situation happening on Detroit's west side.
Well, we're talking about 2 firefighters that were hurt in a house fire, literally had to jump out of the window to save their lives. Nick Monticelli joins us now live. And Nick, talk us through what happened here, because they were under the impression that they were trying to rescue someone inside.
They were. They thought somebody was inside, and that's why they went in so quickly. It is very loud right now because engine 42 from the Detroit Fire Department just came back because there are more hot spots inside of this home. You can see them right now ripping off aluminum siding and hosing down more because there is still fire, or at least one hot spot inside of that home. So this fire started at about 4 o'clock this morning. We can show you some video from when that was. And when firefighters arrived here, originally they were told that somebody was trapped inside of this fire. So they ran inside, and they were told, or I'm told I should say, that within about 10 seconds of being inside, 3 of them inside trying to find that person, this fire just flashed over, meaning the flames just shot out of the walls right across the ceilings. Those firefighters jumped out of 2 different windows. One came out of a window in the front of the home. 2 firefighters came out a window on the side of the home. Their injuries are minor. We're told by the Deputy Fire Commissioner that their burns are their chin, their neck, and their bicep to the left arm. So again, those are minor injuries. They were taken to Detroit receiving. And as far as the fire itself, what caused it, investigators don't know yet. We do have arson teams here looking into all of that right now because they do consider this fire suspicious. They do say there was an illegal electrical hookup. However, the chief on scene said that probably is not the cause of this fire. He did say it was strange though, because where this fire started, he said there was nothing around it that would have caused something. So they've got the arson team here looking to see what might have happened out here. So back out here live again, there are crews out here again working on hotspots of the fire. But most importantly, this fire is out. The home is damaged. 2 firefighters injured, taken to Detroit Receiving Hospital. They are going to be just fine. We're live here on Detroit's West Side. Nick Monticelli, Local 4 News today.
Thank goodness for that.
Yeah, we're glad they're going to be okay. Nick, thank you for the update. 6:05 is your time now. Police are continuing to search for this 17-year-old boy this morning. He was beaten and then dragged from his home, kidnapped by 3 men. We're told Jalen Wilson, that's his name. He was abducted just after noon on Tuesday off of a home on Westwood Street on the city's west side. A witness tells us that the men carried him to a silver older model Impala or Chevy Malibu. If you have any information on where he could be, please call police.
Today, the debate on legislation to overhaul the Affordable Care Act, known as Obamacare, will continue on the Senate floor. Late last night, the Senate rejected a proposal from Republicans to repeal and replace Obamacare. Later today, senators are expected to cast a vote on a repeal-only proposal. This all comes after Vice President Mike Pence cast a tie-breaking vote to move forward on the health care reform debate on Tuesday.
Well, last night, Detroit turned Hollywood for a night of a lot of fun. All the glitz and glamour at the Fox Theater for the premiere of the movie Detroit.
Yes, this is the movie that tells a gripping story of an incident that happened at the Algiers Hotel in the midst of the 1967 riots here in Detroit. Local 4 caught up with a handful of the big-name stars that were on the red carpet at the Fox Theater on Wednesday night.
I feel honored to tell this story. I think it's an extraordinary story. It needs to be told, needs to be seen, and it needs, it needs to see the light of day.
I think it says a lot that this movie not only premiered in Detroit, but it premiered in the Fox Theater. I mean, this theater is a thing of legend, not only in Detroit, but in America. There's some great names that have walked and performed these hallowed walls.
And it's a fact that we are still having the same conversations that unfortunately we were having 50 years ago. I haven't lived 50 years yet, and that's crazy that we're still, in 25 years, we could possibly be having the same conversation. So a movie like this, it gives perspective and it sparks the change.
And of course, we remember him from Star Wars. It was a gripping film. You left it feeling, it was tough to watch. It was definitely tough to watch, but definitely an important story to be told, a history we should not forget. You're not far from seeing the nationwide release of the movie Detroit.
Yeah, it'll premiere in theaters on August 4th, but definitely a movie that everyone should go and see. Definitely a movie specifically Detroiters should go and see, depicting our history. And it left you wanting more, and wanting more of...
It does, because it's just one part of that story,
right.
And you do want to, and even reflect on what happened after that,
right.
Because we've come a long way since then, and it's
certainly
something that we're proud of, because we had to overcome quite a bit. Yeah. Time now is 6:08. The start of school is still weeks away, but parents can already capitalize on some back-to-school deals.
Kids are like, no, la 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 la. But coming up,
school, no.
I know, right? Coming up, we've got the 4 best back-to-school sales that are happening right now. Jason.
His story shows us the risks of playing football, and now a new study confirms just how dangerous the sport can be. But is everyone at the same risk? We'll try to answer that question coming up next.
Welcome back, everybody. We want to get you updated on jobs for you today. Detroit Police and Wayne County Sheriff's Office will be hosting a hiring event today. It's from 9 this morning until 2 this afternoon at the Northwest Activity Center on Detroit's northwest side, right at Myers and Curtis Roads here in Detroit. They'll be hiring police officers and sheriff's deputies. Applications will be accepted on site. You do have to be at least 18 years of age with a valid driver's license to apply. We'll be right back.
Wednesday, 10.
Nope, you stay out here.
It is chilling video. The man there in this video, agitated, disoriented, and scaring people at a Washtenaw County auto parts store. But what people had no idea is that this is actually Brian Price, a former NFL defensive tackle, a husband to track star Candace Price, and a father to daughter Gianna, with a baby boy on the way.
Now, Brian likely has what's known as CTE, chronic traumatic encephalopathy, a progressive degenerative brain disease in NFL players, and unfortunately can only be diagnosed after death.
The cause is repeated blows to the head, concussions, and it manifests in multiple ways, from dementia, aggression, to difficulty thinking, and even suicidal thoughts. There is no cure, which is something that Price and his wife Candace have to live with every day.
This isn't like a torn ACL or a broken arm and we're going to physical therapy. We're dealing with not even breast cancer and survivors. We're dealing with something that they don't even know enough about to educate, let alone emotionally and mentally what it does to a family.
Mentally, like some days I struggle a lot. But like as a man and as a friend and a father, you don't want people to see it. But at the same time, like I know I'm not the only one going through this.
He has his core characteristics. So the gentleman-like qualities, the respect for women, but it's definitely altered of the personality.
Wow.
Brian is only 28 years old. This is a young couple, a young family. The NFL paid to send him to therapy at a cost of $40,000, but they will no longer pay and treat for this if something that insurance doesn't cover either. So
yeah, so they're kind of trying to figure out what to do. Both Candace and Brian are elite athletes, but if you ask Candace whether she wants her unborn son to ever play football, she'll tell you a strong no. We do want to send it over to Jason right now because Jason, she's got a lot of reason, both of them have a lot of reason to be concerned, in fact.
Absolutely, especially now. An alarming study now shining light on just how dangerous football can actually be. Joining me now is Dr. Stefan Mayer. He's the chair of neurology at Henry Ford Health System. Good morning to you, doctor.
Good morning.
When you see that, the story, what is your immediate reaction?
Well, my first reaction is that CTE, chronic traumatic encephalopathy, is very real. It's a real hazard and a real risk for people that play these competitive high-impact sports.
When you look at the business empire that the NFL has become, I mean, it is probably the #1 brand in the country, and everything feeding into it, from junior football through high school through college. What would be your advice, I guess, going forward?
Well, I'm sure that a lot of parents are very concerned about their kids. Should they be playing competitive sports? The American Academy of Pediatrics has a pretty good recommendation about this, which is mix up those sports. You know, there's a tendency for our children to want to get really great, maybe one day play at the professional level. But it seems that by mixing up your sports, when you're a kid, you reduce the risk of repetitive stress injuries of all types, including concussions and brain injury.
More than 9 in 10 players showing signs of CTE. That is astounding.
Well, the thing you got to remember is that this was a study of a kind of tip of the iceberg phenomenon. These were individuals who died. They often died young. Their families had concerns because they had those symptoms of dementia, personality changes, suicidality, and that type of thing. So this study doesn't mean that every NFL player is destined to get this disease. To me, it means that it's basically a very real risk, and we need to look very carefully at the protections, the rule changes, and those types of things that we can do to keep people out of harm's way.
I recall seeing a story that compared a violent NFL-level collision to a car accident, and every time players collide helmet to helmet, it's like they've been in a minor car accident, or in some cases major. Is that accurate?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of focus on concussions now, as we know, but it seems that with CTE, it's also the subconcussive blows to the head, the ones that don't knock you out, that happen play after play, that may also contribute to this degenerative process.
All right, doctor, we appreciate your expertise. Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
All right. Back to you guys. Coming up in the next half hour, a must-see interview, former Detroit Lion Lomas Brown. Also, right in the middle of this concussion controversy, he'll join us live to talk candidly about his experience. Now, Brandon.
All right, Jason, thank you so much. A lot to take in there, some good information. I think we all need to think about that a little bit. But in the meantime, let me distract you and bring you a beautiful sight from our Penobscot camera looking over Belle Isle in Canada, parts of Detroit here, the sun coming up with a little bit of cloud cover. Low 60s and upper 50s, another comfortable start to the day, but we're going to warm it up a little bit, especially as we thin these clouds out through the morning and afternoon. Near 80 degrees at lunch, 84 the afternoon high. Shower chances around 5 or 6 p.m. will be Saginaw Valley and the tip of the thumb, or the far north part of our north zone. This cold front will sweep through here tomorrow, and this brings us rain and thunder chances. Also brings, just want to show you real quick some of these showers that are going to be coming into our north zone this evening, maybe right around dinner time or just before. But for us, mostly around Metro Detroit, tomorrow we'll have rain and thunder showers coming and going from mid-morning through the afternoon, and a marginal risk for severe weather, especially after 2 or 3 p.m. as we start to warm up a little bit. And on Friday, again, may start out with a couple of showers. Most of the day is dry and sets up a great looking weekend. Kim and 4 Live traffic in just a minute. I have your Hanson's weather window. Can't forget this. Looks good for the ball game tonight. 1-800-HANSON's brings us Comerica Park, and a good one. We had the sprinklers going earlier. I think maybe I see one down there going now, but it's going to be dry for the ball game tonight. The Royals and your Tigers, 7:10 first pitch. Now it's Kim DeJulio's turn with 4 Live traffic.
Good morning. All right, well, we do have a couple problems out there. We'll start with this one over on the freeway. This is northbound I-75. We have an accident just past Springwells here, so be careful. The right lane is blocked. Not much of a delay, but something to be cautious of while traveling that way. And then let's head on over to our surface streets. Northbound Outer Drive closed right now between Plymouth Road and I-96 because of a water main break. In the meantime, use Telegraph or Burt Road instead to get around that. And then we are following a serious accident over on 7 Mile. That's closed right now in both directions between Southfield Freeway and Evergreen. So in the meantime, you're going to want to use 8 Mile to get around this one. Now let's get a live check at our roads right now with our 1-800-CALL-SAM-CHOPPER shot. We're looking at I-75 right at I-696. And despite all the problems we have in other areas, this area is accident-free and looking just great. Rhonda.
All right, Kim, thank you. Well, by next week, it'll be August, so I guess it's safe to say it's not too early to start thinking about heading back to school, and especially if you want to save big bucks. Now's the time to start shopping. Walmart, Best Buy, and Microsoft are among the retailers and companies already running promotions. Reviewed.com looked at what's being offered and came up with four items that they say is really offering some great savings. Apple is offering a free pair of Beats headphones or earbuds if you buy a new Mac laptop or iPad. It would be great for a college student. You'll also get a discount on the purchase of the device and can save as much as $300 with the promotion. eBay has slashed prices on everything from clothes to school supplies, dorm necessities. Some school supplies are half price. Tech accessories are 40% off, and you can find smartphones for under $300. Staples has discounts on supplies, also backpacks and technology. Buy a backpack at Staples and you can get 25% off on supplies to fill it. You'll need the coupon code that you see on your screen, 62686 at the checkout to unlock the savings. And let's check in with Target. School supplies, electronics, and clothing are all on sale there. And like Staples, you can find school supplies for just 50 cents at Target. Happy shopping.
Oh, not bad at all. Rhonda, thank you. It is 6:21, everybody, and coming up in just a little bit, we have an adorable dog that is looking for a forever home. Kim DeJulio is going to introduce you to our pet of the week, along with Patrice Reed in just a little bit. Also, a bizarre story of this mom who's accused of taking something from her own child. What it was is shocking. We'll tell you what it was and the charges that she's facing coming up.
Good Wednesday morning, around 60 degrees through most of Metro Detroit. A little bit of cloud cover out there, but we'll thin it out and warm up. Middle 80s with some humidity added on. Kim?
All right, well, we want to warn you about this accident over on northbound I-75 right at Springwells. The right lane is blocked. Multiple semi-trucks involved. All right, now it is time to meet our pet of the week. Joining me live this morning is Patrice Reed, and you have brought this sweet dog.
So sweet.
This is Carter, and he just is the sweetest, most calm dog I've ever met. Tell me a little bit about Carter.
I believe he was a stray. He's about 4 years old. He's fine with other dogs. I'm not sure how he is with cats or kids.
He's a
But
collie
he's
mix?
just about a collie mix, and he's so sweet and laid back. He hasn't made a sound since he's come in.
He just loves
I'm
to be
quite
pat
sure
on the
he
top of
can
his
bark,
head.
right? He just
Aw.
hasn't had any reason to bark.
Oh, well, he is so sweet. So definitely call to adopt Carter as soon as possible.
And you
Call
know he
Poet
likes
Rescue.
treats.
Oh, what dog doesn't,
Okay.
right? Poet Rescue 734-407-7638. And you can get Carter to be your pet. We also want to give you an adoption update, one of our recent pets of the week. This is Bandit, if you remember Bandit from a couple of weeks ago. His new owner, Lynn Miller, and look how happy she looks.
Right.
Honestly, a dog really does enhance your life, and I really think Carter's going to make a great dog for somebody. So make sure to call to adopt Carter. Thank you, Patrice. Back to you.
Alrighty, Kim. Thank you. It is 6:27, and coming up next at 6:30, local stories from Detroit, Howell, and Livonia. But first, a police officer in Spain gets creative to take down a man with a knife. That's next in today's top video.
Navigate your morning.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time for today's top video. A man in Spain was arrested for attacking an officer, but the real story is how the officer took that guy down, and there you just saw it.
Yeah, surveillance video shows the man. He was walking around 1 minute waving a knife, and then an officer takes him down with one of those big, I don't know if it was plastic or concrete barriers. Ouch. After being taken down, several officers rushed to arrest him. Luckily, no one was seriously injured, though the man may have probably a little bit of headache pain.
Yeah, I'd say so. We're back in a minute.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News Today at 6:30 starts now.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday. I think Brandon has a forecast that'll help you get over the hump.
Absolutely, and we've got a lot of stories to get to this morning, starting with breaking news. 2 Detroit firefighters that were hurt battling a house fire, and the chief says that they should have never been in danger in the first place. We're going to have a live report from the scene from our Nick Monticelli coming up in just a minute.
Also ahead, we continue our conversation about concussions and CTE, repeated head blows from high school to the NFL, the Brian Price story, and the alarming video that's making headlines. And also ahead, our former Lion, Lomas Brown. He's going to share his personal struggles of consequences from concussions. But first, we want to get to Brandon with a look at what's happening with the weather today. Good morning.
Good morning, and Lomas, just one of our favorite people here.
Yes, he is.
Local 4 News Today. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. 61 degrees. You see the clouds out there, but not really causing too much in the way of trouble. We keep the clouds through the mid-morning, thin them out a little bit through the lunch hour, near 80 degrees at lunchtime with some hazy sun. A high of 84. We will add a little bit of humidity, so it will feel a little bit warmer than that. So be prepared to drink your water, be hydrated today, but it's not going to be anything like what we saw last week, humidity-wise. You see a couple of showers here in the tip of the thumb through the last couple of hours, but again, things are drying out. We just have some cloud cover to deal with. Take a look at some showers coming out of the Green Bay area into the Traverse City area and then over toward Alpena on this Wednesday. A chance for some showers to sink a little bit farther south through the afternoon and evening. Tip of the thumb, Saginaw Valley again. It's really these showers that we're watching for Thursday that will bring perhaps some severe weather our way. We'll have more on that coming up, but right now I want to tell you that the 4-zone weather is available on the weather tab. Click on Detroit.com, find your 7-day, find your zone right there. Kim DeJulio, we find her ready with the 6:30 traffic update.
That's right. We've got a closer look at that accident over on northbound I-75 just past Springwells. We're looking at our 1-800-CALL Sam Chopper shot. And take a look at this accident. It does not look pretty. Multiple semi-trucks involved here. The tow truck is on the scene, but as you can see here, only the left lane is able to get by, and the backups are pretty bad all the way to the Rouge River Bridge. So keep this in mind for your morning commute. We've got a few other problems out there we want to warn you about before you head out the door this morning. Let's take a look at our maps. Northbound outer drive closed between Plymouth Road and I-96 because of a water main break. Use Telegraph or Burt Road instead. And then a critical accident on 7 Mile has both directions of 7 Mile closed between Southfield Freeway and Evergreen. Because of this accident, you're going to want to use 8 Mile instead this morning. Back to you.
Kim, thank you. It is 6:33 now, and they were in danger when they didn't need to be. 2 Detroit firefighters hurt battling a house fire, and the chief says a mistaken call for help put their lives at risk.
Yes, Local 4's Nick Monticelli is joining us now live from the city west side to explain what happened here. And Nick, let's first update on how those firefighters are doing.
Those 2 firefighters, Rhonda, are going to be okay. They have minor injuries, burns to their bicep, their chin, their neck. They were taken to Detroit Receiving Hospital after the fire at this home. Now, it was a mistaken call in the sense that they thought somebody was trapped inside the home, but there certainly was a fire. Take a look behind me. You can see right now the arson squad is off to the right side there, piecing through the area where this fire started. But as of right now, the chief is calling this fire suspicious because of what happened here. So let's show you some video from early on this morning. The fire itself started at about 4. Now, when firefighters got here, they were told that somebody was inside of this house trapped. So 3 firefighters went into what's called a search and rescue mode, getting in there trying to find that person. But as soon as they got in there, the chief says within 10 seconds, the whole house just flashed over, meaning that the fire just consumed the home, racing up the walls, across the ceiling. So firefighters, and this is not an exaggeration, were jumping out of windows trying to get away from that fire. 1 jumped out the front window, 2 jumped outside windows of the home. Now, of those 3, again, 2 were injured with burns to their chin, their neck, their bicep. They were taken to Detroit Receiving. They are going to be just fine after some minor injuries. Now, they also have no idea yet what caused this fire, but the chief did say that there is an illegal electrical hookup here. That's something they're looking at. He also said, which was interesting, is that the point of origin for the fire itself, he didn't see anything in the area that would have caused the fire on accident. That's one of the reasons they're calling this suspicious, and the arson team is now out here looking into all of this. But again, the most important part, those 2 firefighters, despite their injuries, they were going to be okay. They were at the hospital. The chief said he went over there and took a look at them. They're talking. They're going to be just fine. And now the next step is figuring out what caused all of this. We're live here on Detroit's west side. Nick Monticelli, Local 4 News today.
And Nick, were there any family members around? Anybody who actually lives in that home?
There were family members here. They were actually pretty hostile with us. They did not want to talk. They were even hostile to the firefighters. They were trying to get some information out of them. Who else is around here? What did you see? What could have caused this fire? They were not cooperating at all.
A lot of questions. Hopefully the fire department or police department will get answers to. Nick, thank you for the update.
We do want to get you updated on other stories we're following from all across the metro area this morning.
Yeah, stories from Livonia, Howell, and here in Detroit. And we'll start there because a 17-year-old was kidnapped from a home on Westwood Street by 3 men on the city's west side. A witness tells us that this boy, his name is Jaylon, he was inside of the home when a silver car pulled up and 3 men jumped out, rushed inside of the home within seconds. And witnesses say that they carried Jaylon to a silver older model Impala or Malibu and then drove right off.
Over in Howell, the woman you see pictured here used her child's urine to try and pass a drug test. 52-year-old Kimberly Peterson was already on probation for drug possession. Prosecutors say that during a regular drug screening, she tried passing her child's urine as her own. Peterson was sentenced to 45 days in jail for the probation violation.
And a search is underway in Livonia now for a tip jar thief. Police saying this man is suspected of making off with employee earnings at the Jersey Mike's sub shop on Middle Belt Road near I-96 on Monday. There's no word on exactly how much was taken.
Why does it feel so good to get a tan even when we know it's bad for our skin? I'm Dr. Frank McGeorge. Coming up, what's really happening when we spend time in the sun?
Sharing his own health struggles after the NFL. Up next, former Lion Lomas Brown speaks out after a startling study reveals the actual dangers of football.
Sky 4